1360 WCGL. Now stay tuned to the following radio broadcasts.
You're listening to the Victory Station, AM 1360. We're glad you chose us. Thank you.
It's Impact with the Florida Star, the largest, oldest, and most read African-American newspaper in Northeast Florida and South Georgia. And now, here's the host, the publisher of the award-winning Florida Star, Clara McLaughlin.
Well, hello, this is Opio. I am sitting in for Clara McLaughlin, the owner of the Florida Star newspaper, as well as Star TV 18.2. Make sure y'all check it out. Always have some good programming on the television station, and of course, you know, we've been around since 1951, the newspaper, the Florida Star. So we want you to continue to support us, and thank you so much. We've been seeing increases, and why not? We are out there doing the work that's supposed to be done to make sure that someone can tell our story, to make sure that we can look out for each other, to make sure that we do all of those things that will allow us to be prosperous and beautiful and go out and make the things happen that we need to happen, so we can be proud of ourselves, so we can pass it on to the next generation and then the next generation and the next generation after that. I got a good show lined up for you today. Oh, you're going to love this. We're going to be talking about the Throwback Fest that's coming here to Jacksonville. And what warms my heart is that you see promoters all over the place making things happen and doing all the big stuff from everywhere else. The promoter of this one is from right here in Jacksonville, Florida. So you guys stay tuned for that very, very shortly. Let me say that there's 15 weeks leading up to the presidential election, right? And not even that for some of the local elections. August 30th. There's going to be these local elections that you have to make sure, these primaries and such, you have to make sure that you are registered and you get out there and vote. Make sure you do that. And I know this is going to be a real interesting election. Donald Trump is at the head of the Republican Party. You got Hillary Clinton tonight is giving her speech for the Democratic Party. You got Jill Stein for the Green Party, and Gary Johnson for the Libertarian Party. So, which way are you going to go? No matter what happens, you make sure that you get out there in November, you vote. And also, August, you have a ballot measure that the mayor is pushing on the tax referendum. And you have Congresswoman Corrine Brown. That race is going on. You have the prosecutor's race is going on. The public defender's race is going on. You have some council member seats that's going on as well. So, school board. So y'all have to make sure that you're voting in August. That's when these primaries are kicking off. So you make sure that you get out there and vote early. All right. Let me see. Do I have Serena? Serena, have you on the phone?
Hi, yes. How you doing there?
Let me just say I am too thrilled that a sister that is pushing such an incredible concert, the Throwback Fest. Tell us a little bit about the Throwback Fest.
Well, thank you. It's actually a blessing that I even have the opportunity to push this Throwback Fest. Actually, an old school R&B concert. Just bring all that old flavor. We have some old artists, 70s, a few from the 80s, and a few from the 90s that's just going to come together live, all band, on stage. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic.
You know what's interesting is that in our generation, that's your reminder, we are in our 40s, right? Yeah. And younger, let's just say the younger and the even younger, there are people that when you mention them, you couldn't even mention that type of concert on a gospel radio station because the music has just took so many bad turns. But you're promoting something that people who are even on the gospel station say, well, who is it? You say Club Nouveau and ENVOGUE and Toni. People that put out some good soulful music that the whole family can listen to.
Yes, and God made instruments, and He made all that, and
Right.
It's what you advocate. So if you're singing something that's good for the soul, that's a good thing. But if you're singing something about sex, that kind of, because the world is kind of leaning another way, a whole other direction. So actually, it's funny because at first I felt a little weary about talking to the gospel station in reference to it. I was like, I don't want to, be touchy or offend anyone. And then when she reached out, I was like, hey, great, it's so good to hear from you. My pleasure. She was like, oh no, we love, old school real music that actually soothes the soul.
Yeah. Right, and some of those songs, when you listen to them, you're like, wait a minute. Like, if you hear a song, "Hey Little Walter," you're like, wait a minute now, that sounds like a church song.
And they're very musically inclined. I mean, from the rooter to the tutor, they're really musically inclined. And you hear all the good parts. He switched out like 4 or 5 good parts throughout his show. I mean, they're phenomenal. Who's really going to steal the show is what's that old Stone City Band?
Oh, yeah, Rick James, come on now. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, 'cause you talking about funk. I mean, you talking about where you don't even have to hear Rick James and listen to music and
you won't.
Yes, yes, right. Well,
and you won't.
I hope not.
But I think I said that because most people they're interested and ready to see ENVOGUE and Toni.
Right.
Those are the two voices that we keep hearing, which they're going to rock the crowd as well. But you are going to be in. It's going to be good. It's definitely going to be a showstopper, and you'll be surprised how well that Slave, another old band, 70s group, that's pretty good.
All right. Well, let me tell you now. People my age the people in their 50s, the group called Club Nouveau, trust me, they've had that on heavy rotation in Jacksonville back in the 80s, Club Nouveau. And Force MDs, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Force MDs.
And you know what? It's so funny how you said Club Nouveau. My son just showed me a soda, a Coke can. And it had, because they're doing this new thing with the songs on the soda can. And I saw Lean On Me. Nouveau. I mean, it's just actually, and it's still in rotation. It's still in rotation.
I mean, they had catchy songs. I mean, think about the song "Jealousy" and then "Rumors." They have all of the, and then "Lean on Me," and then "Lean on Me" came at a perfect time during that period of time. So, Club Nouveau, you're going to always hear their songs on rotation. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Now, tell me, how did you get into promoting?
Well, it started, actually, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm an investor overall. I invest in different things, and I still have a food vending business, and I started investing with other promoters. I started out buying a food court, and I would do the backstage, and then we started investing where I was investing in the show, and being around shows. I've been around shows for years, believe it or not. I branched out, and I said, you know what, let me do one on my own. Let me just do one. So I did that one. Everybody enjoyed themselves. We had old school cats in. But it was mainly, I wanted to take it to the next level of what I was doing at the time. So that's how and I love music, and that's why we call it Musical Ear Events. That's the name of the business. But I love music. I used to sing all the time. I sung in the choir. I just sing. So I have that musical ear, and that just took me to another love to say, okay, well, you know what? Let's continue and bring back old school, because the Throwback Fest will always be an old school niche. Even if ever a rapper is going to be a rapper from the 60s. No, I'm kidding. But to answer your question, it mainly came from being around music, loving music so much, having a touch of being involved with other promoters, and it just said, well, let me try it on my own. And it's a very difficult task. It's extremely, it's a whole nother world. It really is. I mean, it's a whole nother world. But
man, think about it though. Think about this though. There are now a couple old school rap groups that are touring, or they're doing a few shows, and they're doing pretty well.
And that's
old school.
Want to hear.
Right. And see, these are old school artists, and you can hardly hear a curse word every now and then. But that was back then where there was a nuance. You had different types of groups. Today, they find one thing and they continue that one thing throughout the radio, and they'll play it 1,000 times. Well, back in the 80s and the 90s, you had different types of groups, and so you had different types of good hip hop rap music.
Right. Actually, my daughter was saying, I have a college daughter, and she's a sophomore now. Well, she'll go back as a sophomore, and she turns the station. She listens to different stations, and I told her, I said, y'all's music the same. You got 10 songs you play over and over. She said, because you so old, you got so many old songs. She was like, we have so many old songs. And and we messed with each other about that. But you're absolutely right. Absolutely. It's so many different flavors. And to be a music lover, you actually tap in. I haven't tapped into country yet. I have not tapped in country, but I believe I like hip hop. Actually, I even like that, but I want to stick with that niche, the Throwback Fest, but always have a throwback niche. Whether it's a throwback, like I said, you don't be surprised in 2018 it'll be a throwback country.
Right. Country music make a lot of money in Jacksonville.
You think so?
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, well.
They make a lot of money. And as a matter of fact, they had some kind of concert, I think last year or year before last, and I think there was like a 2 or 3 day event, and they packed the stadium every single night.
Really?
Yes.
What's the name of it? You remember?
I forget what the name of it is, but people come from Georgia and everywhere to come. It's like the white. We meant to talk about the other night? Funk Fest. It's like the white Funk Fest.
Wow.
I kid you
not. Know what, too? I'm going to tell you something, too. The gospel concerts just started picking up. We used to never saw a gospel concert. You just never saw one because for different reasons. But the last 2 years, I would say, I don't know if it's because I've just been paying more attention to it. The gospel concerts are doing really well, and it's actually pretty good. It actually picked up because at first no one would touch it. No one.
Oh, I touched it one time and I got burnt real bad. Trust me.
See?
I when I was in a year after law school, I brought in I don't want to say this artist's name because he's real big and he just didn't draw. But I did the concert and it really was all my fault because it was the first time I promoted the event. I did a 5,000 seater stadium and only 500 people showed up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
but you know what made me feel good? It was a gospel concert. I stood all the way in the top, right across from the stage, and imagine all the way at the top and just kind of looking down at this empty stadium, right? I looked over to my right, and the people who were supposed to clean up the place, it had to be like 12 of them. They were in their light blue smocks and jeans, ready, to get everything picked up. And they were over there shouting and praying and clapping and enjoying the music. And that made my night. And I'm talking about a horrible night it was for me, but the people who were there said it was a great concert. They didn't think about it in my mind, man, that was $30,000 that, it's somebody else's money. And I felt so bad, but that's what made me feel good. When I looked over to the right and those people were kind of way off in the wings in the dark and they were praying and they were just really enjoying the music, I said, okay, this is why I did this.
And they felt blessed.
Right.
But you were over about
I felt like not waking up the next morning. Trust me, because it was somebody else's money and it was over $30,000. This was somebody else's money. Okay. And so, but this is what they said. This is a whole church that brought me in to do this. They said, our youth choir got to open up for this act that we all love. This was worth it to us. And I was like, wow. I lost my shorts. They lost their shorts. Yeah. But, they thought that their group, their youth group, to be able to open for that artist was the best thing that ever happened to their
and
church.
they probably still talking about it.
That was 15 years ago, and anytime I talk to that lady who's a pastor at the church, she always mentioned that they got the best thing in the world, and that was the event that I was like, oh, I will not touch a gospel concert unless I know exactly what I'm doing.
It definitely scary. And the thing about this business, as a promoter, the thing about it, when you lose, you lose.
Yes.
Big.
Yes.
And some people big is different from other people big, but big is still big to be.
Right.
And when you win, you can win. I've walked in and saw promoters. Like I said, I've done some things backstage with others, and I mean loads of cash on the table.
Right.
And big. And then you got I don't know if you ever heard of Rockville. It's a rock concert.
Yes.
It comes to Jacksonville. Well, it's so funny because one of his sales reps, my sales for the Throwback Fest, and he was just talking, just going and stuff, and he went to say how much the guy made off just Cokes and Sprite. He didn't even go into the alcohol and waters and all. You got so much of stuff. The gate got so much of merchandise, vendors, and you got so much of. He told me how much he made off just his Coke. Coke and Sprite, his sodas. And I was like, I'm sitting up there trying to have a straight face. I'm like, oh my goodness.
You can make so much money. But think about the money on the table deal. Like, you go in the back, and I've been to one of those. Like, at the end, you got this pile of money, and that money is from like the merchandise and all this stuff, and they dump it on this table. This one guy, what he would do is he would take his cane and slap the cane out in the middle of the money and take half of the money and push it all off the table. He said, okay, that's the extra money for the such and such promoters, and the rest of this is mine. And nobody was mad.
And what's so funny is sometimes you see all that money, you have no idea. With artists and the production and so many other expenses. You
got to pay it back, right? And see, that was the thing with me that evening, and that's why the artists, because there was a few artists that we had brought on, and I paid them. I made sure that everybody and everything got paid.
Absolutely.
So nobody could say anything about me. And so when there was a loss, it was me losing and that church losing. But they felt like they won. I took the loss, and I made sure nobody can say I owed them anything or I didn't run out the door. Because I could have kept a little extra money and say, well, shoot, but other people got paid. So don't do business like that.
Right, don't.
Right. Okay, I got to go to a break. Can you hang on a little bit? We're going to go to a break, and I want to talk to you a little bit more.
Okay, I sure will.
All right, this is Opie. I'm talking to Serena. She's promoting the Throwback Fest. We're going to get into all the information on that, so y'all stay tuned right here on Impact.
Now you know the Florida Star, Northeast Florida's largest and oldest, most read African-American newspaper, serving since 1951 in more than 200 locations. The Florida Star, news you can use, news you can trust, the people's choice, striving to make a difference. The Florida Star is serving over 230,000 African-Americans living in Northeast Florida that generate $5.2 billion in buying power. Read the Florida Star weekly newspaper and find out where your money's being spent and on what. Read the Florida Star and learn what your city and state representatives are doing on your behalf. Read the Florida Star and learn how to support your neighborhood businesses. Read the Florida Star and learn how to receive city health and community services. The Florida Star received the first Eagle Award by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for being most factual. The Florida Star solely addresses issues of concerns for African Americans. The Florida Star carries local, state, national, and international news regarding African Americans. Subscribe today at 904-766-8834. The Florida Star, speaking truth to power.
Every day, all day. This is Opio. I am sitting in for Claire McLaughlin. We are making sure that you get the information that you need at the Florida Star newspaper. So y'all make sure y'all go and pick it up, and also tune into 18.2. You will be able to see and hear this interview right here on Star TV. So if you missed any of it, we got a hookup for you. And I'm on the phone with Serena. She is the promoter of the Throwback Fest. How you doing, Serena?
I'm good.
So when is it? How do people get tickets? Tell us all that good stuff.
Okay, it's August 13th, so it's right around the corner in about 2 weeks, August 13th, at Metropolitan Park. We all know where Metropolitan Park is, which is downtown on Gator Boat Boulevard. The show starts at 6 and definitely going to start on time. The gates open at 5. You can log on to www.throwbackconcert.com for tickets, or you can charge by phone at 1-877-993-8499. We also have some local outlets too, Opio, that they can hit just in case they don't feel like using a credit card. They go to Blue Diner, Church Chicken on Dunn Avenue, and Church Chicken on Normandy. There's Catholic Food. We also have some tickets at Base. If it's military and you want a little discount, go to Base. So, and that's about it. And so Blue Diner, Church Chicken, what was the other one? Athlete Foot, and the Jacksonville Naval Base.
Tell us what kind of kid were you growing up, and where were you raised, and all that good stuff. What church you went to?
Believe it or not, I am the only child. And as I get older, I'm hearing that you can't tell. But when I was younger, you could tell, I guess, because I don't know why, because I wasn't spoiled, because we could afford to be spoiled. But I was born and raised right here in Jacksonville, and so I am a true Floridian. I'm right from Jacksonville, and actually I still reside here in Jacksonville. Went a couple other places, traveled around a bit, been out of the country several times, several countries, but it's my home. And I'm proud to be here, but I am the only child. My mother passed last year, and last year was when I decided that I'm going to do this show again, because I was afraid to step back out there and doing it by myself. And so when she passed, I said I'm definitely going to, I made the decision actually right after her funeral that I was going to step back out. My dad is still alive. Matter of fact, he just was over here yesterday to the house. But for the most part, I'm a Floridian, Jacksonville, born and raised.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Paxson.
Paxson!
Yes, the Mighty Eagles. I went to Paxson, and then I went to Edward Waters College. At Edward Waters College, I pledged. I'm a Delta.
Delta, all right.
I am. And then I went on to UNF for mastery. So I've actually been here forever.
Now, tell me this right here. Is music the only thing that you want to promote, or is there something else that you have your eyes on in the way of promoting, like a screenplay, or stage plays, or movies, films, stuff like that?
You know, it's funny you should say it, because I love comedy and I love stage plays, I just like laughter. I like that type of stuff. And I was just talking to a young lady, matter of fact, from the radio station, believe it or not, and she's done a couple plays herself. And we briefly talked about it, and I told her after my show, I want to talk with her about, you know, investing and partnering up with some plays, because I like that. That's just what I like. I don't know much about that world, but I like what I see on the outskirts. I like to see the plays. So no, I don't have a strong desire to promote anything else, and nothing right on top that's burning. I do know my next step. I want to do a Valentine's Day concert, because there's not very many Valentine's Day shows here for couples. So that's next on the radar.
Oh, you about to do something now? Who would you bring in? Because you could do a lot.
Yeah, it's to be honest with you, the good ones that really, you know, nice and love that. What they call it? What's that word? It's a word for love songs.
Crooning.
Yeah, the crooners, they are pretty expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
For Valentine's Day, because they most likely get booked.
Right.
I haven't really worked on it, Opio, to be honest with you. But that's just the next thing that I want to do. That's the next step. But it's still the same thing, promoting a concert, and I want to put a little twist on it, and maybe have dinner. You know, so they don't have to go anywhere. You have your entertainment and your dinner all in one spot.
Nice. Now, I always think about the importance in this city for us when we have people that are talented here, to support them so they don't move to Atlanta, or they don't move to D.C. or the West Coast. And so y'all listen to me. Those of you listening to the radio right now or looking at TV and seeing this interview, this sister is from here. She's doing a throwback concert with some really, really good music. We have to be able to support sisters like this and make sure she becomes rich and wealthy so she can hire a whole bunch of people and can do and have this bigger than the other concerts that come here. So we don't have somebody come in the town, drop off a little bit of money, but take almost everything out. You keep the money in your own town, and we can have and never know what can come out of that when you support one. And so this is my appeal to you. This sister's right here doing the good work, and she's already up and moving. We have to go out and support her. Now, tell us why these artists. Now let me name the artists. Okay, you got Toni. You have Slave. You have the Rick James Band, Stone City Band. You have ENVOGUE. You have Club Nouveau. Am I missing anybody?
And Force MDs.
Force MDs. And Love is a House. Y'all know Force. Y'all don't get me singing in here now. So why these artists?
Well, when I was thinking of the ones that have not been towards the South, and ENVOGUE do a lot out of the country. They do a lot on the West Coast, and just never really down South ever. And if you do come on the East Coast, normally New York.
Right.
So that's how I chose. And I love ENVOGUE. Now, you don't supposed to choose on who you like, but I love ENVOGUE.
Right.
And I chose Toni. Actually, someone else said, you know who a great hit that's pretty reasonable that would be a good hit? Toni. And I was like, you know what? I like them too.
Mm-hmm.
So Club Nouveau is somewhat like an add-on. And the other two, I know their manager. I've got to know their manager from another show, which the other two, I mean, is Slave and Stone City Band. And he was like, hey, you got to have us on your show. So that's how they kind of came along. But I started out with that ENVOGUE and Toni, because of course thinking of who do we want to see. The others are bonus, but who do we really want to see?
Right.
So that's how I come up with those artists, and someone that has never been towards the South. That was the main thing I wanted, because we have so many shows here now. So that's what I wanted to touch.
Now, so what's the, who's going to enjoy this type of show? What's the age group of people that's going to enjoy this show?
At first, originally up there, I was saying that it would be between 43 to 63, but truth is, I'm thinking around the 36 to 63. We have that 70s flavor. We have two groups from the 70s, two from the 80s, and two from the 90s.
Man.
So I'm thinking now the people who have that little old spirit that just want to mellow out and chill and want real music. I'm thinking it's going to be around 37 now. Some of the 36 though may come out, but we originally was targeting 43 to 63.
I think you are right. You're talking about really, really, really good music here. Tell us again, when is it? Tell them the website. Give us all that information again. Okay,
we'll do. It's August 13th, which is a Saturday, August 13th, at Metropolitan Park. The gates open at 5, and the show starts at 6. The website address, again, is www.throwbackconcert.com, and that's THROWBACKCONCERT.com. Now, if you didn't answer some of the questions, we do have an information line, which is 352-888-4769. That's 352-888-4769. And I actually have someone that'll call you back and all that good stuff if you have further questions or need some information about it. We're trying to be very, very open, and we want to engage the concert goers, especially our concert goers, Throwback Fest concert goers, as much as possible. We're going to also have a few gifts. So we are going to give away some items as well at Throwback Fest. Originally, I was thinking I'll just only cater to VIP, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Because I saw how people felt great, to give comp tickets, to give away tickets. And oh yeah, thank you, because first of all, to enjoy yourself. You take your husband or your wife or your significant other out. You'll spend a good $100, $150 on a cheap day.
Oh yeah.
So when I saw that, I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just cater to the VIP. Yeah, they got a little special thing going for themselves as well, but we're doing it for all Throwback Fest concert goers. So you can order your tickets. Well, 877-993-8499. That's the charge by phone. Going to one of the local places. They'll have tickets all the way up till the day before the show, and we'll also be selling tickets on show day. Now, it will increase by $5.
All right.
It's on show day as well.
The show is over, and we're giving Serena the last word on that. Thank you, and that's the Throwback Fest. Thank you, Serena. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I really do.
All right, y'all. This is Opio. We got to get out of here. We'll see you next time on Impact.
And we want to thank Opio for another great Florida Star.